Hey, so in the last tutorial I showed you guys the melody of That Should Be Me by Justin Bieber, or how I play the melody on the piano. And I didn't get to the bridge section where he says, I need to know, should I fight for love or disarm? But instead of teaching you guys that now, I'll put the note names along with the lyrics in the description below, and you could learn it from there. What I'm gonna show you guys in this video is how to fancy up, or how I sometimes fancy up my piano playing to make a song sound even better. And in this case, I'll use That Should Be Me by Justin Bieber as my song, but mostly I'll be showing you guys how to fancy up the chord C minor, and then you can apply those techniques to any chords in the song, or any chords that you know for any song. So first, here's the C minor chord, the first chord of That Should Be Me, which involves a C, an E flat, and a G. And then you can play a C down here, and maybe a G and an E flat if you want, but I'll just use a C and a G, and then those notes from before up here. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys are basically, it encompasses the whole thing, but is arpeggiations of chords. That's basically, a lot of what I do involves some type of arpeggiation. So I'm going to take the chord C minor, look back if you forget the notes, and what I'm going to do is play each note individually in order. So I'm going to go. So basically what I did was I played the chord, but kind of all the notes separately. And you can do this style of arpeggiation at many different speeds. The first thing is going slowly, like I just did, where you just go. Or you can do it at a moderate speed, something like. Or sometimes I like to use this, actually I like to use it a lot. What you do is you go really fast, so it sounds basically like the chord has been rolled, just like that. But I suggest that you just start by, just doing the really slow, not really slow, but pretty slow arpeggiation, and then slowly speed up. And you can use all three of those in a song somehow. Another thing you can do is you can take those notes and you can arpeggiate them, but you don't have to do it in the order of the chord. You can, for example, you could play C, G, C, and an E flat, C, G, C, E flat, and then go back down to the C, and then add a G afterwards. So it would sound like. Or you can do it another way by going. There, I went like C, G, C, and then a G up here, and then an E flat. So you see, it sounds a little different, and it changes up the way your song will sound, and it adds, more flavor to the song. Another thing you can do after doing the changing of the order is you can add maybe other notes that aren't technically in the chord right away. Like you can add a second. What I mean by a second is where the chord is C minor, so I'm adding the second note in the C minor scale, which is, so I'm adding a D. So here's the C minor chord of C, E flat, G, adding a second, so there, and maybe going like, so you play a C, a G, C, D, E flat, G, like, and arpeggiate it. Oh, and I also forgot to say that it's oftentimes good to use the pedal for this. I'm pretty sure everyone uses the pedal already, but so I'm just saying. And so yeah, use the second or the seventh, which is the seventh note of the scale, which would be a B flat. So maybe like there I use the second and the seventh. Now another thing I utilize this a lot is what I do is I take the second note and the fifth note of the scale. So for C minor it would be D, G, and I play them together just like that. Then I move this D up 1/2 step to an E flat, just like that, and then I move it down to a C. So what I did was took this D, which is the second note of the scale, up to an E flat, which is like the third note of the scale, and then I took it down to a C, the first note. So it sounds together, it sounds like this, or a little faster. And I also kind of held this note here. I held this. And if you play it along with a C and a G in the bass, like the C minor chord from before, you just sound like this. And you can apply that to any chord that you know. Like for example, A flat, the second chord of That Should Be Me. You just take, here's the scale, right? You just take the B flat, the second note, E flat, the fifth note, or actually I'll play it down here, it's easier to see. Play those two, then go with this B flat up to a C, then down to an A flat. And I get to use this a lot in songs, and it sounds pretty nice. And then the last thing I want to teach you guys is it's kind of like the opposite of the fast arpeggiation from before, where I went C, G, C, E flat, G, C. But instead of going up like that, I go down. I go the opposite way. I take this C, this E flat, this G, this C, and I take them and I put them in the opposite direction. C, G, E flat, C. So like, you can start out slowly, and it would actually work slowly in the song too. And slowly get faster until you go like that. And you can actually play the whole chord solid first like this, before doing your fast arpeggiation down. Add the C and the G in the bass, and then it should sound nice, like. And again, you can add other notes of the scale as well. There I went just C, G, E flat, D, C. So yeah, if you utilize those techniques, you can fancy up the piano playing. So here, maybe give you a little example of how it would sound. It would just be like. So yeah, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.